Everybody, we are here in the beautiful Orlando, Florida with Jeff from JL Electrical down here. Jeff, it's always good to see you again.
Thank you, man. Pleasure always.
Not a lot of people know this, but Jeff and I have been knowing each other for like almost close to 2 years now.
Yeah, a little bit over.
You know, we first met down in, no, it wasn't Fort Lauderdale.
It was, yeah, 2 years, yeah, Fort Lauderdale.
But no, it was north, right?
No, we went to the PDD in Palm Bay.
West Palm.
West Palm.
West Palm. That's where.
Palm, then
and we were in front of the which one? Steakhouse. Which steakhouse was it?
Charlie Chris or Chris?
Ruth Chris.
Ruth Chris.
Yeah, that's where we met, in the lobby of Ruth Chris Steakhouse. Wow, how time flies! And then we met again in Orlando, at the convention at RE Plus.
Yep.
So this podcast is a long time coming, and I'm super excited because when Jeff and I were talking before, we were talking about how so many contractors, so many electricians will come into the trade loving what they do.
Exactly.
And then we start seeing that they have usually a few paths to go. But what we see a lot of people is they'll either go into contracting or that they'll stay as an electrician.
Correct.
But what we started learning is not everybody lasts in contracting. Or if you come into contracting, you spend the next 25 to 30 years trying to figure it out, and you're really stuck in the same place. And what I loved about your story, what I loved about your experience is how you was explaining how even 10 years contracting, you're always like, what's next? How can I get to that next level? Where's that next leak? And what I think a lot of electricians need to start understanding is these are questions you can ask yourself now. You don't have to be a contractor for that. You can always figure out, how do I get better at studying the NEC, studying code? How can I get better in my work? You know, how can I get better as a husband, as a boyfriend, as a father? All of these questions that you start asking yourself is what made you the person that you are today.
Right.
And I'm super excited to be here at your shop.
Thank you.
You just moved in. He has trucks all over the place. And we just want to learn more about your story for the apprentices who want to become electricians, or electricians who are trying to figure out what's next. We want to learn from your experience. So
Sure. I mean, consistency is key. And I don't say it just to say it. It's to get good at something, you got to continually doing, improving your craft, your trade as you go. You cannot half-ass it. There's no secret shortcut. There's no way to make this happen overnight. You have to continue to improve your craft and your trade so you can become successful at it.
And I like that because I feel like now we're seeing everywhere online where everyone's saying electricians are the next millionaires because of data centers, because of the boom. But a lot of people are coming into the trade and they're like, well, I can't live off of this. And they don't understand that it takes 3-4 years before you can make 30 an hour.
Exactly.
Right? And then 5, 6, 7 years before you even can think about going into contracting. But then when you go into contracting, you're looking at 3 years of not making anything.
Exactly.
So if you're not willing to put in 10 years, like off the bat,
then it's not for you. I mean, if you want to have a good job, you can find a job in the trades, union, non-union. If you want a job, you can find a job. But if you want to succeed as an entrepreneur, because being an electrical contractor, being an electrician are two different things. And people think it's the same thing. And it's not, because when you become an electrical contractor, you're dealing with the business side of it, not with what you can be very good at putting panels and lighting and doing all kind of stuff. But are you good running a business? What experience? There's no school for us, most of us that come from the field, that help you make that transition. It's a very rough transition going from electrician and being in the field to being a business owner and have to make business decisions. It's a whole totally different wax.
And already, when we came into blue collar, a lot of people talk about like how we're not good at school. We didn't go to college already.
All right.
True or not?
True.
So if we already came into electrical because we weren't comfortable in school, now you throw business, that's not for us, you know? So I want to know more now on how'd you started as an electrician. Where did that whole journey begin?
Oh, that started, and I'm going to give you a little more context. That started right off high school, really. Off high school. Trade school for electricity. Then moved on and didn't do much with it. I finished, graduated, really didn't do much with it. Then many years back when I was like 27, I fall back on it, and from there on, I started building on it.
Wow. And then when you started working in electrical and you started building up your experience, you started working for a company. And I looked, if you want to talk more about that
Sure.
experience, before you went into contracting, what was your experience like with your previous contractors?
I mean, yeah, I mean, like I was telling you, owning a business was never, never, never my idea, never my plan. I was just a good electrician, doing my job, minding my business, getting paid like every Friday. But the people around in my circle, including my boss, friends was like, dude, you're too smart, you're too bright, you know your stuff. Why you don't make that leap, that step to become an electrical contractor? And I was like, nah, I'm
Yeah.
good. But little by little, that seed continued to go behind my head, and that message continues. I wake up in the morning thinking about it, and one day I just decided to jump. And like going back to what you were saying, you're going from making good money and being stable to not knowing where your next check is coming from, not making no money, and that whole struggle of becoming an electrical contractor and starting your business from the ground up.
And I always thought, and there's a few points that I loved about your experience. One is like you never thought about becoming a
Never.
contractor, but at the same time, you already had qualities that people saw in you that made you. The same thing when I talk about apprentices. There's a lot of apprentices who don't know where they're going yet,
Exactly.
but these are qualities you can already work on and you can already have.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if you're like good at working with others, you understand you're probably already the best GC that no one's heard of yet. You know, because at the end of the day, it's managing relationships, right?
Managing relationships.
If you know how to communicate with your boss, you're probably going to go pretty far because he can trust you, and when things get hard, he knows you're going to communicate. And none of that has to do with electrical. None of that has to do with bending the pipe or pulling the wire.
No.
So when it comes to anything, I think, in the trades or of significance, you can work and have those qualities long before you even get the position, even if before you open up your own shop. And that's what I want to focus on the apprentice side of things. That these are things that you can work on even before you open up your own company that no one can take away from you. So when it came to now that you started looking into contracting, get that bug in your ear, and then you started like working towards it, what were some of the things that you had to do? What was that roadmap like for, let's say if someone, especially in Florida, is saying, oh man, I want to be a contractor. What's that process like here?
Very important. I mean, I have found you have to work for a licensed electrician, and I cannot stress it enough. I've been in those board meetings or board meeting for the counties or the state, where if you work for an electrician and he's not licensed, or you working as a W-9 and not getting a W-2, then your hours doesn't count.
Yeah.
And people don't know that. People just work for contractors and be like, yeah, I'm W-9 and getting the, but no, your hours aren't accounting. They will not give you your hours so you can take your test. Compared to other states and here in Florida, you have to be, I mean, the steps is our apprentices, journeyman, master, and then contractor. Not every state have that they go straight to journeyman or whatever. But you have to follow the rules say per se, because if you go into the trade and you work for somebody that is not licensed, your hours don't count.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
that's a big issue. I've seen it happen over and over.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people will just jump in trying to get their feet wet. But if they can fall in the rat race, they can fall into it where they now working for that guy 5, 10, 15 years,
And then
have nothing to show for it.
have nothing to show for it.
That's,
So
yeah.
being accredited is important. Make sure that you are, but in as an apprenticeship and going through the motions of going, what things you need to do is just learn the best you can do. You have said it before in another of your podcasts, like getting ahead of your journeyman, watching what they're doing, anticipating what's next, and just pay attention to details. It will take you a long way.
Yeah.
You will move real fast in this industry.
I like that. I like that. And we're coming to a point where, and that was the next part we were talking about, that people don't understand how much potential electrical has. We were just talking about data, recording, instruments out there that insurance company needs, or
Power analyzing, infrared, thermal imaging, fiber optics. You call it right now all new things, emerging things. Wow. Like I said, the power analyzing, the thermal imaging, the data qualification, data certification. There's a whole bunch of new products that are out there that people are requiring with all this boom, this internet or like you said, data centers and all qualification that you need.
And people are coming in thinking it's still about just a black and white
It's
wire,
not pulling
or
wires, bending pipe. That
yeah,
it's part of the job. You got to know your job, but we are moving so fast in technology, like the AI. That's a whole thing for the business side. You have to be top of the ball.
yeah. And that is another way of don't get complacent.
No,
Because
never.
like just like if you can get stuck working for a contractor for 10, 15 years and not do anything of it, the same is if you get stuck in one specific field. Like
Yes.
if you're just doing residential. I mean, if you like it, no one's going to stop you.
No.
But if you want to keep growing, there's so much more out there for you. For example, all the things that you just talked about. So now with that being in mind, how did you get into that line of work? Talk about your team. What are you guys tackling? What are some of the projects you're seeing today?
Well, we do. I mean, tons of stuff that we work. I mean, we do tons of government work. We do a lot of insurance work. Right now, we're working in a water plant. Right now, we're working on, like I said, a prison that being refurbished, a bar, some apartments in Tampa. You know, we got projects all over the place. But I mean, we were around as a company. We do a little bit about everything. Residential, it's not that we don't do it, but we step away from it a couple of years ago, looking for the big stuff. But like you said, if it's not for everybody. Some people that's what they like, that's what they want to be at.
Yeah.
Fine, but I feel that you need to always progress and keep on growing and get better yourself, learn new stuff.
Yeah. And that's why I feel like a lot of people, they don't focus on that. Or they say, that's not what I want to do. Like, for example, I'll tell people, hey, if you're an electrician, you should want to work towards your license, even if you don't want to open up your own business, because it's just a progression.
It is a progression.
You know, plus if you go to a new company, if somebody comes to you and say, hey, I have a master license, but I don't want business, I just want, at least you know how much experience he has. It only helps you. The same with learning the different aspects of electrical. There's so many different aspects where if you genuinely care about what you're doing and the craft, there's so much room for you to grow in. And I always think about it where people are like, oh, I just want to stick for residential. I always think about my daughter when I'm like, have some broccoli. And she goes, I don't like it. I'm like, you never tried it. You know, so I'm like, hey, have you tried date? I don't like it.
I'm gonna throw something out there that might be a little bit controversial, but was listening to somebody recently say like, oh, you gotta pick. You can't do service and you can do construction at the same time. You're not set up for it, then it's fine. You can't do it.
Yeah.
But we do it all the time,
Yeah.
all day, every day. So
Yeah.
it's you got to go where there's plenty avenues.
Exactly. And if you're a one-man shop, there's only one of you. You can.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So, anyways,
I love that. I love that. And then that also ties to another conversation we had, where there's so many things that people say in the trade that they're just so used to it. You know, stigmas in the trade that we talked about. I've been doing this for 30 years.
Oh God.
You know,
I hate that phrase.
Same shit, different day. Everyone at this. It's like everyone says that, but it doesn't really help you get anywhere. But you feel like you have to wear this stigma. You have to wear this persona because that's just what everybody does. What have you done in your company or with your team to make sure that you guys are always looking forward or providing for your team?
We're always evolving. Like I said, we were like everybody else. We started in the home and they're doing the residential. And obviously we migrated to the commercial and then we said, okay, there's more opportunity here, more stuff to do. But we're doing tons of stuff. Like we got certified a level 2 on the thermal imaging because right now 70B requires that you must. Before it used to say you should. Now the code says on the 70B says you must.
Nice.
So do thermal imaging for the gear and all the stuff yearly. So we just anticipating what's the next thing emerging and always looking for those opportunities. So we jump on that, got certified, got that under our belt as a company. The data qualification, we just saw the opportunity with a lot of engineers looking for more information to how to upgrade or downgrade gear. So we looked into that, we got into that, and we accomplished it. And here we are doing that. Other stuff that we have done that have the AI, like I said, for the way we estimate projects. Obviously, AI is in everything. We went to Chicago, went to NECA, we spoke to a whole bunch of people. We came back, did our homework, and started implementing and adding the AI to how we do our estimates. And we have found a combination of platforms, different software that work well together. And we started implementing that, and it grab our estimate from weeks or days to hours or minutes, so always looking for what's the edge or what's next and what's moving so we can always be better as a business.
I like that. I like that because a lot of people, outside of the trades, they're always scared of AI coming in because they're losing. I think there was a report today. Facebook laid off like 8,000 people today, and they laid off because they're finding AI is doing the job better than them. But for electricians, we find out no one can take our work from us. But not only that, we can use AI to help us with our business, right?
Exactly. It's not perfect. Of course, it's not perfect, but it does improve a lot the timing on doing what we did or the old way and grabbing the highlighter and mark